Thank you. Thank you. Hello, and welcome to the Gen AI App Builder session at Data Cloud and AI Summit. My name is Kalyan Pomarthi, and I'm a product manager on the Google Cloud AI team. Joining me today, I have my colleague Benazir Fateh, machine learning specialist customer engineer at Google Cloud. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Kalyan. Always a pleasure to work with you.
Likewise. All right, let's dive in. Large language models promise an incredible opportunity for industries to innovate and create new business value. They enable companies to reach larger audiences and enable knowledge workers to access complicated information faster. Here, we'll be discussing how generative AI will enable enterprises to engage with their internal and external customers, and how developers can build generative applications like never before. Chat, search, and generative AI are all powerful tools in the enterprise. Yet they can be challenging to implement and create wonderful customer experiences. For example, users now expect to be able to describe an idea imperfectly, with technology being able to anticipate their needs and provide personalized service. Consumers are moving from a simple query and response to a more human-like conversational experience by using words, images, and sounds as we do in the real world. And with these changes, consumers still expect to have a safe, trusted, and credible online experience. These new ways of interacting with technology present many challenges in the enterprise. Legacy systems still provide rigid experiences and limited customer understanding. They're hard to scale, complex to maintain, and don't provide a high-quality user experience. Overall, it could be difficult to deploy technologies to achieve business impact in a cost-effective, fair, and ethical way. Now, chat, search, and generative AI independently add a lot of value in the enterprise. For example, conversational AI is wonderful when you can have human-like interactions to solve problems and find information. Enterprise Search AI is useful when you can scale a wide range of siloed data to retrieve accurate and credible information. And generative AI is quickly becoming the path to creating new content and experiences to delight your customers. But when you bring all these capabilities together, it enables enterprise developers to build even more delightful user experiences. We recently announced Gen AI App Builder platform, which brings together the power of conversation, search, and generative AI to the enterprise. Let's walk through how you can use this new platform to create transformative applications powered with your data within minutes. Take it away, Benazir.
Thank you, Kalyan. Hi, I'm Benazir Fateh, an ML specialist customer engineer at Google Cloud. To get started with Generative AI App Builder, you can start with a domain name, point to a storage location, or upload documents. You can choose to create a chatbot, a search experience, or both, as these two commonly work together. So let's choose our adventure and start with a chat experience. Let's walk through the user experience of a chatbot built by the fictitious retailer Symbol Bikes and discuss how it was built. A consumer on the Symbol Bikes website asks about investing in a bike that would be good for triathlons and for commuting in the New York City. The bot takes into account both use cases for the bike and provides an answer. The sources of the answer is cited, and the consumer is navigated to the road bike section of the site, where the suggested bikes are displayed. When the consumer asks about handlebar materials and the answer is not found on the site, the bot pulls from publicly available websites or general knowledge of the AI model to answer. Later in the conversation, the consumer asks how one of the road bikes compares to their current bike. The bot allows them to upload a picture and is quickly able to recognize the model of the bike based on that image. Next, a comparison table is dynamically generated, presenting the answer to the question in the best format, based on this user and their question. After comparing bikes, the consumer is still not quite ready to complete the purchase. The bot creates a summary of the conversation for the user to take away and reconsider. This summary can also be used when the consumer comes back to the site in the future. When the consumer asks for suggestions on a plan for a day of biking that includes ocean views and is within 2 hours of New York City, the bot creates a personalized itinerary to help inspire the consumer. Let's step out of the user experience and talk about the configuration options that were used to build this. The developer of this experience enabled generative responses to be sourced from the SimpleBikes websites, other publicly available websites, and general knowledge from the AI model. In this example, both summarized answers from the site's content and newly generated answers were enabled. Another option would have been to ground answers only in the content from the SimpleBikes website and documents, but enable generative responses like summarization. In addition, there are other detailed settings like restricting terms and topics that are also available to developers. Coming back to the user experience, when the consumer returns to the site, they are greeted in context of their last visit by being asked if they have any other question about the road bike that they were considering before. In a single response, the consumer says they want to buy the bike and asks if local delivery is offered and states the delivery time that works best for them. The bot can understand all of this, and it responds with delivery options that meet the user's requested time frame. As you can see, we have moved beyond just providing answers to a user's questions, and now we are helping them complete transactions, like in this case, making a purchase and booking a delivery appointment. Let's look at how a developer can enable the bot to complete tasks, like placing orders and scheduling appointments. Generative AI App Builder provides step-by-step conversation orchestration with 3 ways to add these type of task flows to your bot. 1. Pre-built flows cover common tasks like authentication, checking an order status, and more. You can drag and drop them onto a canvas and complete a basic form to enable them. Second, you can describe what needs to be done and what information to collect using natural language. And third, you can visually map out business logic and include the pre-built and custom tasks you created. The graph is simple as the AI handles guiding the user conversation. Now that we've covered generative AI for chat experiences, Kalyan will show you how to put the enterprise chat search experience into action.
That's right. Next in our adventure, we'll showcase an enterprise search experience. We want to enable developers to imagine and build generative search experiences for many industry applications. Here's an example built for an external customer-facing foodie app. Here, the user wants to search for recipes in the app. They say that they want to cook something vegan with broccoli and carrots. The generative search platform understands their intent in natural language and shows the most relevant search results based on that understanding. Now, the user can also ask follow-up questions. In this example, we see the user providing a location on a map. The search platform understands multimodal inputs. So in this case, the text and the location of the map, and generates personalized recommendations. All these experiences can be built out of the box with the enterprise search platform. Here's another example, this time for an internal search application to support an analyst doing financial research. Let's say they want to search Symbol's data about the challenges faced by semiconductor companies due to the rising interest rates and inflation. Like before, they can enter their question in natural language, and the search platform understands their intent and searches over Symbol's data sources to provide relevant search results. These results are grounded with source citations and attributions. The user can also see synthesized summaries generated from data across multiple sources within Symbol's data. Finally, the platform provides personalized recommendations relevant to the user's search. All of this out of the box without much setup. So what use cases will this platform enable you to build? We see opportunities across a variety of internal and external use cases, addressing the needs of customers, staff, and machines. You can build search experiences for external users on your websites, or internal enterprise or technical applications. The enterprise search application is designed to foundationally support building generative AI applications for any information retrieval use cases. The Gen AI App Builder platform for enterprise search will serve application developers and AI practitioners. For application developers who want an easy setup experience, we offer out-of-the-box search and chat features. For search developers who want to personalize and build multimodal capabilities, we offer configurations and more advanced features. And for AI practitioners who want to build on top of the search platform, we have a build-your-own search mode with advanced model training, tuning, and embeddings. Just like with conversational AI, all of the features and capabilities will be easily configurable and controllable. We can manage these configurations for features such as faceting and autocomplete, summarization, and conversational experiences. And while you change these settings, you can see a preview of these configurations to the right. And of course, enterprise search will integrate with the Vertex AI platform, where an AI practitioner can leverage their institution's domain knowledge to build their own search models, embeddings, and knowledge graphs. Now, these customizations can then be exported to the GenAI App Builder to power the enterprise search engines. Generative AI App Builder is where Google's latest foundational models, enterprise search, and conversation AI capabilities all come together to help you easily build credible, controllable, and customizable next-gen experiences. I want to thank you for joining me today, Benazir, and discussing the GenAI App Builder. And thank you to all our viewers for joining for the GenAI App Builder session for the Data, Cloud, and AI Summit. Until next time.
Coming from a retail background, I like to think about the shopping experience my grandfather would have had in his local tailor. The tailor knew him, his family, his size, his value orientation, and could give him the perfect customer experience. And we're doing the same at Macy's today. With the data we have on our customers, we're delivering individualized experiences to get the ultimate customer shopping experience.
One of the things that's really appealing about Google Cloud is the fact that it has an amazing data and analytics solution. We knew we had to get to a better place from a data standpoint, understanding the 360 view of our customer. They may have been browsing and looking for an item and then decide I need to pick it up in the store. Maybe they saw it on the app and they decide I'd like to touch it and feel it and try it on. One of the really cool things that we're playing with now is recommendations. You could be going to buy a comforter for your bed. How do I make sure you've got the right sheets, the right towels? With the power that we're enabling with Google Cloud, we're going to be able to help with those recommendations and really just accelerate that customer journey with our digital capabilities. Macy's chose Google Cloud to help us get to a state-of-the-art technology platform. When you think about Black Friday, it's one of our biggest shopping days of the year. Our technology platform has to scale to be able to handle not just all those sales, but the number of people that just go out and browse on our website.
Google Cloud Retail Search, at its core, is an intent-based search engine which leverages machine learning models and uses the data and analytics from our customer purchase history, from the online activity to provide really personalized search results for our customers.
At Macy's, we become customer-centric in order to meet the needs of our customers, just like my grandfather's tailor.
And welcome to Build, Customize, and Deploy Foundation Models in Vertex AI session. My name is Keelan McDonald, and I'm a product manager in Cloud AI.
And I'm Warren Barkley. I thought we'd start with like a brief history of AI to just talk a little bit about some of the background that exists there. And so large language models have really kicked off this new era of technology innovation and this whole new world for developers and AI practitioners. So let's just kind of go back a few years and see where we were and now where we are. In the early days, you had these small models that were specifically made for specific tasks. And so those specific tasks were not very elastic. You know, it's things like I'm going to train something for time series prediction or things like that. And so you spent a lot of time making sure that you're optimizing these models for one thing. Moving on into like 2015 to 2020, what we saw was that this invention of transformer models. Transformer models did a couple things. One is it really made it much more easy to customize these models. They were much more elastic, and you could use them for different domains. And so it was relatively straightforward on how to do this. But we still weren't kind of there yet until we got to really 2022, where we started to see compute get more efficient and effective. And so, you know, things like TPUs, which we had had for a while, really allow inference to happen at scale and with kind of the cost effectiveness that needed to happen. You know, today we have models that are from 1 billion to like hundreds of billions of parameters, and they don't necessarily need to be trained per task. And so a lot of the efficiency is how do you actually do that with these huge things and do that at a way at scale that doesn't cost, you know, an arm and a leg. And so we really got to that place in 2022. So now where we are today, is that we're actually releasing these models for everybody to use and kind of really democratize the ability for people to use these models in ways that are cost effective, that you can innovate in your business with them.
And this is where generative AI on Vertex AI comes in. So Vertex AI is Google Cloud's end-to-end ML platform that helps data science teams across businesses fast-track ML model development and deployment, from feature engineering to model training to low-latency inference, all with enterprise-class governance and monitoring. So Vertex has been offering builders a convenient ML platform for training and deploying custom ML models for years, and now we are excited to be expanding our offerings with a model garden to help practitioners discover models and launch their own AI projects. This model garden will include Google's own state-of-the-art foundation models, as well as third-party and open source models, as well as our many pre-trained task-specific models, like translation and speech-to-text. We'll also be introducing generative AI APIs to help our developers access our large language models, either for out-of-the-box use or to tune for custom tasks. Vertex Generative AI combines Google's exceptional model quality with enterprise security and deployment support. Like all Google AI products, Vertex Generative AI is also built on our responsible AI principles, ensuring that we provide our users with the highest standard of information integrity and safety. And the Vertex AI platform gives you as the developer the tools and resources necessary to tune and serve these large models. By using Vertex AI, you automatically inherit the enterprise compliance and readiness that comes with the Vertex ML platform. And you get to focus on the creative and value-add aspects of your work by abstracting away the underlying infrastructure complexity. This includes the ability to customize and optimize your model through prompt tuning, fine-tuning, and distillation. First up, let's talk about prompt tuning. Prompts are how we guide the model to generate useful output using natural language rather than programming languages. Different prompt formulations can lead to different results, so prompt engineers can experiment and adjust to find the best prompt to solve their particular task. Next, we have fine-tuning. Fine-tuning is a bit more robust. It involves further training a model on additional data to get the model to perform better at a specific task. With fine-tuning, you actually modify the weights of the model to improve performance. If you have a domain-specific labeled dataset, this can help you get higher quality results on narrow jobs, such as summarizing legal contracts versus summarizing just any generic text. And finally, we'll offer distillation. The goal of distillation is to train a much smaller student model that's more appropriate for a production environment while still retaining the quality of the teacher model that you originally fine-tuned. Distillation involves transferring knowledge from larger models to smaller models that solve the same task but use far fewer parameters, which makes them a lot less expensive and a lot more efficient, while maintaining the same quality of the response of the large language model. Especially when models make that leap from lab settings to real-world deployments, this can be especially important for developers. Distillation helps developers meet performance, latency, and throughput benchmarks at the time of inference on real-world data. And now, Warren, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the 6 new APIs.
Yeah, absolutely. So our priority is really offering a wide choice of new foundation models. And so we often forget that there's more than just text out there. And so we want to create some APIs that actually allow you to access, as a developer, these different models. We start with text, which is relatively straightforward. So something like, the ability to summarize and do kind of this few-shot prompting. And so we'll have APIs for that. Next one is code generation. Now, code generation is pretty cool because it's the ability for you to use natural language and say, build me this thing, and it'll generate a bunch of code for you. And that really opens up, productivity for developers in interesting ways. Next, we have image and video. We remember that you can generate images and video. So if you want to say, do 30 seconds of me running through the forest or something like that, it'll actually generate brand new images, brand new video for that. And of course, dialogue. So dialogue, back and forth dialogue models that allow you to build different types of chat functionality. And code completion. So code generation, I could tell it, hey, generate me a bunch of code. Code completion is, while I'm typing code, it actually finishes and actually finds bugs in my code so you can know what the errors are and really diagnose it quickly. Embeddings, lastly, is really the ability to kind of get this high-quality semantic information from unstructured data. And it opens up all sorts of interesting things like recommendations and search and things like that. And so we're going to offer all these as APIs for developers to use.
So you've seen now that large models are supercharging the value of Vertex. And we have customers like CNA who've been using Vertex to manage their ML models and ML ops for years, now being able to achieve even more value by hosting and tuning large models using that exact same toolkit. So in summary, Vertex Generative AI is for you, the builder. From our centralized model hub to our robust tooling around tuning, distillation, and deployment to our pre-trained APIs, Vertex is designed to be a one-stop shop for practitioners working with and building on LLMs. So Warren, why don't I turn it over to you to see what this looks like in action?
Awesome. I'd love to do a demo for you. Generative AI support in Vertex offers really the simplest way for developers and data science team to access and tune, deploy foundation models like PaLM in a way that provides the most choice and control. Let's dive in and check out the Generative AI Studio. which has this new capability that we built within Vertex, where developers can access prompt design, prompt tuning capabilities, followed by Model Garden, which allows data scientists to fine-tune foundation models. First, I'll show you how a developer can tune with text prompts in generative AI. Then we'll review some more advanced tuning options. Let's design a prompt to generate a multimedia campaign based on a value proposition for a brand called Healthy Snack. So let's click on prompt design. Then let's design a prompt for a multimedia campaign based on a value proposition, which we've already generated from the Value Snack blog. Notice there's a significant capability to configure the system well beyond the chat interface. So for example, I can control the temperature of the response. Temperature is a parameter used in natural language processing models to increase and decrease confidence in a model and its most likely response. It allows us to determine for the use case whether the model needs to be really more accurate or can generate creative and unusual responses. We'll use Google's latest Palm Bison model to ask for a blog headline, a blog post, Instagram caption, and some hashtags. Let's click Submit. Okay, let's enter that prompt now. So here we have a blog headline, a blog post, and Instagram content for a multimedia campaign. And Generative AI Studio provides a symmetrical user experience, so whatever you do in the UI, you can show in the code. So if we click on View Code here, you can see all the codes right there in Python, and you can just cut and paste that out right into an application or an endpoint. Generative AI is a lot more than chat, though, of course, a lot more than text summarization as well. So let's click into some of the other capabilities. So Vision AI has this ability to generate images, and we can contextualize simple text prompts to generate different types of images that goes with this marketing campaign that we're working on. So let's go ahead and write a prompt that gives me a visual of a granola bar on a kitchen table, and let's just hit generate. So what do we get? We get 6 different images that I can use for my campaign. And this is kind of part of the power of multimodality. You can bring these things together in amazing ways. So let's click one of them and see what we can do. So you click the top one here. Initially, the image is powerful. What's more impressive is that I can edit this with natural language. So I don't have to use some fancy editing tools, but I just want to add honey dripping from a spoon in the background. So I just type that right here, click generate, and you can see I edited the image. And now I have all my content I need for my social media campaign thanks to the power of Vertex Generative Studio. But this is really only the beginning. Along with the studio, we're introducing the Vertex Model Garden. It's a single environment you can use to search and discover Google's models, as well as open source and third-party models. Let's see what happens when we choose a single model, Palm Bison. Click on that and go into the model card. I can see the foundation model right here, and I can choose from multiple ways to customize the model. I can tune it with text prompts like we showed earlier, or if I want more extensive training, I can fine-tune my model that results in changes to the model weights. This is a great option for data scientists who need to produce outputs for specialized results, like legal or medical. But that's not always the case. I can select tuning and customize the model to produce content which is aligned to my company's brand voice. So if I hit tune here, this in a simple tuning interface, I can upload a small amount of data, my own data, to tune the model. Let's go ahead and give this model a name, Healthy Snacks, LLM, and then let's import this data. I want to use brand voice examples like press releases, tweets, blog posts. So let me go ahead and highlight all these and click them to open them. I upload my data in my company's environment, so I know it's protected. And I'll know that Google will not use my data without my permission for any of these tasks. So once I do that, I get a quick preview of the data showing the inputs and outputs on the right-hand side. And this looks pretty good. So let's go ahead, save time. I've run this previously to make sure the model's ready, and I click tune. Now, from there, you can see all the tuned models I have available and what it's based on, what type of tuning I use, what's the current status. Notice my Healthy Snacks LLM has no endpoint, but that's no problem because Vertex provides a fully integrated platform for model deployment. With just a couple clicks, here we go. Let's deploy this endpoint. So we can deploy that endpoint. Vertex AI's managed endpoints makes it easy to build into my application with a few lines of code, just like any other Google Cloud API. Here I can create a new endpoint that can be used by any of my enterprise applications like Salesforce or ServiceNow. as well as setting things like encryption, logging, model monitoring, and so forth. So I click Create. Our state-of-the-art infrastructure can create an endpoint so quickly, you can begin using it right away. The combination of Generative AI Studio and Model Garden means all your developers, data scientists, machine learning engineers have a full set of tools beyond the simple chat interface that allows you to take advantage of the full power of multimodal generative AI built directly into our end-to-end machine learning platform.
You've now seen how transforming these kinds of technical leaps into products that help billions of people is what Google does best. This is just the beginning of our journey. The best is yet to come, and we invite developers and AI practitioners to partner with us to co-innovate the future. Our community is critical to our ability to innovate, and the large language model's future depends on the feedback and creativity of our users. Thanks for joining us today for Build, Customize, and Deploy Foundation Models in Vertex AI.
Carrefour is a global retail giant with more than 700 stores in Belgium alone, 10,000 stores globally. We basically sell everything that you need on a daily basis in our stores, from TVs to milk. Our customers are changing in many ways. In order to keep up with the digitalization of the consumer, Carrefour needs to constantly invest in the digitalization of the company.
Carrefour Belgium depends on SAP in various, I would say, domains and areas, from retail, finance, HR, and e-commerce.
Moving our SAP workloads to Google Cloud allows us to have all our data together in one big data lake, allowing us to do right assortment planning, right price setting, which then allows us to make sure that we have a very seamless user experience.
Data is becoming more and more important, not only for Carrefour, but for all the companies in the world. Moving SAP data to Google Cloud benefits our customers in different ways. Flexibility, accessibility, security, speed as well.
Our close partnership and cooperation with Google Cloud allows us to constantly look at the new capabilities they bring into the market to make sure that we keep up with that digitalization trend, and we constantly keep improving the capabilities we bring to our users and to our customers.
The partnership between SAP and Google Cloud was really a good fit for us. And for us, that's really key. We started a few months ago what we call the retail revolution. For us, it's making sure that we take the right choices in terms of tools, in terms of IT, in terms of people as well, that we also change the culture of IT to basically do better tomorrow than yesterday. And then you also make the magic happen.
So much appreciate you all joining us today in a session. My name is Brandon Young. I'm going to be leading up conversation from Tab 9's point perspective. And I've got Luis joining me today from CI&T, who's going to give some perspective on how this is applied. So why might be the place that we start is code. So one thing, large language models generally work really well with structured sequential data. Code is an easily definable problem state with very clear binary outcome. It's either right or it's wrong. That's a really good starting spot. The second piece is that code is easy to evaluate. And it's easy to evaluate inside of the entire software development lifecycle. And you'll see that going from initial coding in CLIs or anywhere else that you're writing code as a developer, all the way through to the end of that process in software development. AI applies across all of it. The other part that's really important is it's human. So experts, known as developers, of course, can actually tell you whether the output was useful or not useful. And so that close interaction with a developer, with a human, is a key part to making this successful. The last piece that I think we're going to cover briefly is, hey, we have good measurements for these. So because the outcome is pretty straightforward, and we already measure pretty well how well people develop, it's easy to understand the value of this to faster time to market, higher code quality and consistency, faster onboarding, and developer satisfaction. Now, this is a ton of fun, and we can spend some more time here on all the different applications, but perhaps it's a little bit easier if we just jump into a demo and show you what it really looks like.
Underneath the hood, Tabnine has relied on Google Cloud for scalable, fast, and cost-effective technologies to extend our services to over 1 million monthly active users. This is a significant milestone for us, which shows the popularity and effectiveness of our AI-powered code completion technology. Integrations with popular IDEs like VS Code and JetBrains are straightforward and bring measurable uplift in developer productivity. Whether completing code or generating unit tests, Tabnine's features are aimed at making an engineer more productive in a simple and seamless manner. Tabnine works with developers in a flexible and natural way. Some use a conversational style where larger snippets of code are generated, while other devs stay in the flow with the shorter inline suggestions that take some of the hassle out of more boilerplate functions.
So the next question that usually comes up is, I like the technology, I love what generative AI can do, but why is it they're using Tabnine? So let's spend a little bit of time, because this is something we've been passionately pursuing for a better part of a decade. Tabnine is used by over 1 million developers across all sorts of IDEs. We're proud of that, and it matters. Obviously, there's a lot of code that they complete. On average, it can be anywhere from 30 to 40%, higher or lower. And we'll actually get into what this means a little bit later with Luis. But there's probably 3 spaces to this. Innovation through architecture. This matters a lot because these large language models take a lot to train. And Tabnine made the decision to bet on the open source models from Salesforce called T5, AI21. Google's got a bunch of really fun models, Meta. This open network allows us to move much faster on these big, huge base models. They spend a lot of money to build them, and then we apply them to code. The second place that we spend a lot of time on is data. And that data matters in 2 primary ways. First off, Tabnine has made the ethical decision to train only on fully permissive code. This is important because it means that the code that goes into Tabnine is only coming from fully permissive open source code, which means that you can be assured that you're not getting copyrighted or other code that might be actually added into your code base. The second area that matters around data is that we're able to train on your code base. Really good data from your specific company, from your specific use cases, from your specific languages even, are what make this the most powerful. And that's a capability that Tabnine has uniquely pioneered for quite some time. Lastly, security and privacy. That's both security privacy with your data. So when you use Tabnine on GCP, we're not storing or keeping any of your information. And it's also the ability to run that anywhere you want. So you can run Tabnine either on GCP as a SaaS, or you can run it in your own VPC. So that naturally leads us, of course, to the question of, okay, I like Tabnine perhaps, but why are people using it, and what's the advantage, and how does it fit with GCP? And again, I'm going to use a pretty similar framework. The innovation is why we chose it as Tabnine, and that's because we needed a ton of really high-end compute. We needed to be segmented into a lot of different ways, and that composable capabilities that Google's delivered, not only because they haven't run on Kubernetes, but also because they can segment up GPUs into smaller pieces, leads to both efficiency, it leads to much faster speed, and it allows our customers to take a smaller chunk of compute while they're getting started with Tabnine. And that's important as people jump off. Secondarily, the infrastructure and the backbone is really, really important. So that network is critical because we need sub-second latency out to all our users all over the world. And that's really, really useful. We share the responsibility around AI and data with Google. Great place to train models, great place to serve models, and Google serves a ton of different users in this space. As I said, T5 was trained on it from Salesforce. Awesome spot. That is a consistent process that we love to leverage in with Google, and so do our customers like CI&T. And lastly, of course, security. And where you run it, how you run it, the sovereignty, the security, how you control all that data. Your data is your data, and it needs to be controllable. So rather than spend a little bit of time, let's see how that works in the real world. And to that, I'm going to switch it over to Luis. But we wanted to work with CI&T as Tabnine on GCP because we wanted to understand what this means for a large organization. There's 7,000 plus people all over the globe, and they have to solve problems that all of you are solving. So Luis, give us a little context, a little bit about you, where you all have been using it, and kind of where we can go.
Thanks, Brandon. As we mentioned, like we've been supporting enterprises with solutions, products, and so on. And alongside with the 7,000 people that you mentioned, most part of the people are developers, and we produce a lot of code. Digital efficiency and find ways to improve the speed how we develop solution is crucial for us, and that's why AI. It's really important, a hot topic for us on how to find more and more ways to bring innovation to our clients in a faster pace. We have been using Tabnine since 2022, and we're using 18 different languages, from Golang to more traditional PHP, Java, JavaScript, and so on. One thing that we see, which was really important for us on the performance side, was that developers use multi-line to explore, but it's the very fast inline that appears to be the primary productivity boost here. 90% of the single line that were suggested by the tool were accepted by developers and were used on a daily basis, which represents around 11% of total productivity increase on projects that were using Tabnine in that period, which for us was really good.
And this is interesting because it looks somewhat different than the demo, which is going to probably show a lot more long completions. But the short line completions, particularly for senior developers, is an area that is a really easy pickup and a really easy return to get that developer productivity. But we're excited to kind of take some next steps. Luis, you want to walk us through some fun stuff we're thinking about doing over the next couple of months?
Yeah, absolutely. We see the roadmap and the possibilities of improvements here with the technology. That first of all, it's training modeling. And as anything related to machine learning, as much as you can give back to the modeling, it will have opportunity to deliver more and more code, even for the multi-line as we were mentioning. So this is one of the secrets to keep using in a better way the tool right now. Second is applicability on teams. We saw that, for instance, junior developer, they were using a lot the tool, even if they are not that comfortable with the language as well, which was a great support. But in Senti, we develop people before we develop software, and we try to take care with the learning journey in order to support and to be a better developer as well. So find sweet spots that where you can use the tool, at the same time do not disregard the learning process is really important. Compliance and security, it's another important point that we tackle here. We have clients in industries like life science, healthcare, and banking. And of course, give information to train the model for those industries are a little bit of a challenge. What we can do here is create the same kind of solution under Google Cloud VPC or apply on a DMZ. That might take a little bit longer to train the model, but that is a good solution to use the technology even on those industries. If you're not in that kind of industry, you can go nuts and use all the possibilities. And last but not least, we are really excited in Senti with the technology. It's just the key to find a sweet spot on use the technology as much as you can, increase productivity, but take a look of all the outcomes that you can have for that.
Luis, we look forward to it. We've got some fun stuff, building some custom models for you all on some pretty interesting frameworks that you've already built. Really take that ICAP and make it something that we can continue to accelerate. So we're down that journey. We would love to chat with you, both of us. Feel free to please take a look at tabnine.com if you want to play with the product, of course. But if you're interested in a deeper conversation, please talk to your Google Cloud rep. We'd love to jump in with you, help you plot out our straightforward journey. Again, it's 5-10 minutes to get started, but it's a never-ending journey, and we'd love to be on that with you. So look forward to it. Enjoy the rest of the conference, all the other great talks, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
My name is Nenshad Bardoliwala, Product Director for Vertex AI. It's an incredible moment to be part of, seeing the explosion in AI today. There's no conversation in enterprise computing where AI isn't at the center. This technology has tremendous potential if you can apply it the right way. The real question is, how do you actually get value out of it? Let's go ahead and take a look. We've been bringing state-of-the-art technologies like these to all of our consumer products for decades. We saw the potential of AI early on and have seen tremendous impact from it. We use it to power our core business, search, from recognizing queries to ranking results to optimizing ads. We use it in photos so our users can find a memory by just describing it. We use it in our Waymo self-driving cars so they can navigate the world. We use it in our data center to double our data center's efficiency. We've also been making these technologies available to the OSS community and Vertex AI customers for years. We have thousands of people focused on developing these technologies, getting them into the products our business relies on, contributing to the community, and perhaps most importantly, making them available to all of you in easy-to-consume ways. We created TensorFlow, a framework for a range of machine learning tasks that helped democratize deep learning for developers. We took advances in AutoML research and productized it. This gives our customers access to our state-of-the-art AI models, including the ability to train those models with their own data. This product is a great starting point for people who aren't expert data scientists, and even for expert data scientists who want to accelerate their productivity. We created transformers and diffusion models, which are the basis of the generative AI revolution. Through these experiences, it's clear that businesses need a solid foundation that facilitates the major milestones for real AI adoption, so that these technologies can be applied to real business problems and needs. These milestones are as follows. First, democratizing access to AI. People across your businesses are inspired by the potential of AI, but you need a foundation that stakeholders can use regardless of their AI expertise. Second, unifying data and AI. Data is siloed in most organizations, and the people who work with your data may not be working with the people who can use it to get value out of AI. You need a foundation that brings your data and people together. And third is operationalizing AI at scale. Most models still aren't in production, and accelerator capacity can be very hard to come by. You need a foundation that simplifies management and governance and has state-of-the-art hardware. We used our consumer product experience over the past couple of decades and our enterprise experience over the past several years to create and launch Vertex AI a couple of years ago, which is the foundation that's needed to not only access the state-of-the-art technology, but to make sure your businesses can efficiently and effectively get it into product. We've been excited about the state-of-the-art technologies for years, and we're more motivated than ever to keep bringing them to you through Vertex AI's Model Garden and Generative AI Studio. Our no-code and low-code workflows help your least AI-experienced developers contribute. Our Common Data and AI Notebook interface brings everything together for your data analysts and your data scientists to be productive and collaborate. And our custom training, tuning, deployment, and ML ops provide everything your teams need to get all your models into production responsibly and at any scale. We've seen tremendous industry adoption of Vertex AI over the past couple of years. These are only a sample of use cases that many of our existing customers are getting tremendous value out of across a variety of industries, including retail, healthcare, financial services, and more. People are very excited about the possibilities of generative AI, and this is inspiring a wave of new use cases and even new customers. Now that Vertex AI has been out for a couple of years, we really wanted to get a sense for the overall value our customers are getting. So we commissioned Forrester Research to conduct a total economic impact of Vertex AI study. They interviewed our largest and our most mature customers and found that customers receive 397% ROI over 3 years after moving to Vertex AI. Some factors that contributed to that ROI are as follows: 70% less time preparing data and creating and training models, 60% faster model explainability, 40% less time spent deploying models, 60% less time spent monitoring models. The Forrester TEI study clearly shows the tremendous value our customers are receiving from adopting Vertex AI. Let's jump into how Vertex AI facilitates moving through these milestones of AI adoption and why customers rely on us. The first milestone is democratizing access to AI. This is important because you want to inspire your teams and start small. Vertex AI's range of no-code to fully customizable capabilities enable everybody in your organization to contribute to AI. From software developers with no AI expertise, picking our pre-trained APIs up right off the shelf, to data analysts using BigQuery ML, to data scientists using a single notebook interface across data and AI products, to our ML engineers using robust and integrated ML ops tools to empower everybody else. Vertex AI and its deep integration and interoperability with Google's Data Cloud enable everybody across your apps, your data, and your AI landscape to contribute. The second milestone is unifying your data and your AI. This is important because you want to make your teams efficient while controlling costs and having the right security in place. Google's Data Cloud, which includes Vertex AI, lowers time to AI value by driving standardization, productivity, and collaboration. This supports all of your data types for any workload to drive all of your innovative experiences. Most importantly, it has a robust common foundation across how your teams interface with it, how metadata is logged, compliance, security, permissions, and governance for IT, data, and machine learning teams. The last milestone is operationalizing AI at scale. This is important because if you're unable to reach this milestone, all of your organization's interest in AI will be for naught. It's more important than ever to make sure you're getting returns on your investments. Vertex AI's flexibility and centralized MLOps enable production AI across all use cases and all requirements. And although Vertex AI is well integrated, being modular is a key to fitting into our customers' existing systems. Vertex AI supports any framework and hardware to train and serve models. And built in, you get all of the management and governance tools along with the controls that you need. Now let's hear from Brice Miranda of Orange about their journey with Vertex AI.
So thanks, Nenshad. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be with you. Hi, everyone. So I'm Brice Miranda, Data, AI, and Automation Deputy for Orange France. For those who don't know, Orange is a major telco company. We provide network services and digital services to our customers around the world. And Orange France is a business unit from Orange Group in France. So Orange has worked with Google Cloud for 2 years now to deploy what we call our real data and AI, as an opposite to the science fiction data and AI you'll find in the media. And I'd like to share with you 3 key lessons we've learned in our journey. The first one is focus on arriving and expanding. So I have to tell you that at Orange, we use data and AI to reach 3 main ambitions. We want to increase our revenues, We want to maximize our savings, and we want to improve our customer experience as measured by Net Promoter Score. But 2 years ago, we discovered that with our legacy systems, data warehouses, data lakes, on-premise, we were facing some painful limits that would not let us reach our ambitions. So we decided to move to the cloud. We examined several cloud providers, and we chose Google Cloud Platform for 2 reasons mainly. The first one is a quick arrival. And the second one is the best-in-class tools. So I have to mention BigQuery with all its serverless capabilities, with all these machine learning embedded tools, very easy to use, very helpful. And also Vertex AI. In Orange, we use it mainly for MLOps functionalities such as versioning, such as continuous deployment, continuous training. So once again, yes, you have to focus on arriving, but also on expanding fast if you want to get the value. The second point is that AI transformation can start small. So at Orange, we think that we have to strike the right balance between business needs and tech capabilities in order to find new use cases in ideation phase. Once we do that, our teams, they are really able to find a lot of use cases in very various domains. And these use cases, they are feasible. They bring value, but they are pragmatically feasible, I would say. And originally, we thought that we would only generate value through blockbusters, but in real life, it's a bit different. We did have some big bets, but we also had a lot of smaller projects, and that's fine with us because these small projects they help us to move smoothly, step by step, and people they don't see a big disruption in their jobs; they see a continuous improvement. And we really appreciate that. And that leads me to my final point, which is humans plus machines equals to value. So what does that mean? At Orange, we are strongly committed to deploy what we call responsible AI. And responsible AI has a lot of rules. And one of these rules is about the fact that human beings always take the final decision. So AI is a tool for them to help them to take the final decision. And it's very important for us, and we really think it's much more valuable compared to, let's say, standalone AI projects. Doing that, we think that there's a learning curve with AI, like with any new tool. You may have some surprise, some mistakes, but you also have positive results, quick positive results. And at the end, step by step, people get used to it and they like it. And we call that the smooth transformation because the more people they see a place for themselves in the future, the easier they adapt. So finally, to conclude, I would say that we face 2 challenges in the future. The first one is data democratization. We want really to democratize data and AI to the world, through the whole company, and not only to the experts. And we may use a lot of Vertex AI in order to do that. And our second point is really to dig deeper in generative AIs, which we feel could be very disruptive in the future. So thanks for your attendance. Going back to you, Nenshad, and have a good day.
It was wonderful to hear of how Orange has gotten tremendous value out of their usage of Vertex AI. 2 points that I wanted to highlight. First, the importance of being able to democratize data, which Brice talked about in his presentation, and how Vertex enables this. And the second is about the ability to responsibly combine humans and machines in being able to make data-informed decisions. With that, thank you very much for joining today's session.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Contact Center AI session at Data Cloud and AI Summit. I'm Shantanu. I'm the product lead with Contact Center AI team at Google Cloud. And with me is my colleague, Andrea.
Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm the UX lead for Cloud Conversational AI.
Generative AI and large language models are driving new opportunities across the board. We can now make sense of complex data and access it in ways that was not possible before. And that can be used to power online interactions in customer service scenario. It can be used to generate more content and also really unlock the possibilities of AI and data at enterprises. We're introducing generative AI and large language models across our entire portfolio. So whether you are an AI practitioner or a developer or a business user, you can benefit from these innovations. So if you want to engage with the machine learning models, you can go to Vertex AI. And in the Model Garden, you can get access to all the latest large language model that Google Research and Brain have published. In the future, we actually want to expand that to host other open source models as well. Similarly, we are now introducing generative AI APIs which work on top of that model for specific use cases. For example, you could use the Palm APIs to do clustering or generate summaries. And then you can build generative content using Generative AI Studio. As a developer, you can use our Generative AI App Builder to actually create specific applications for your specific context. For example, we're going to talk in a lot of detail about infobots, which allow you to just point to a document base and generate conversational experiences out of that. We package all of this technology into specific industry solutions like Contact Center AI, Document AI, Discovery AI, and Healthcare AI, and make it easy for you to consume all of this technological innovation. So let's talk more about Contact Center AI. We've been in this space for now almost 5 years, and we have got a really good understanding of the challenges faced by both users as well as agents and contact center owners. On the user side, there is the frustration of long waits, of being driven down hierarchical IVR trees and not being able to get the information that they need or the task they want resolved in an intuitive manner. On the agent side, there is the constant churn and high onboarding costs that are associated with contact center operations. The contact center managers are frustrated because they feel the contact centers are still a little bit of a black box and they don't understand what's going on. They also find it really difficult to use their existing legacy contact center stack and inject AI on top of that. With Google Cloud's CC AI, we are supercharging conversational AI for contact centers. So we have a wide portfolio of products that is built on top of our CCI platform, which I'll talk more about. So firstly, we have our very popular virtual agent development platform powered by Dialogflow, where you can create conversational AI experience to automate tasks and really help your users resolve issues without even reaching out to a live agent. With Agent Assist, when the conversation gets escalated to the live agent, we can assist the agent and really make them empowered to handle those questions appropriately. And finally, with Contact Center AI Insights, we can look at the entire conversation and help generate actionable insights for your business decisions. All of this AI technology is served through Contact Center AI Platform, which was launched last year. With Contact Center AI Platform, we have tried to reimagine Contact Center as a service product and really create an AI-first CCaaS, which serves all of this amazing AI technology to our users. So what are we doing with large language models in CC AI? The way we think about this new technology within the context of CC AI is through 3 lenses. Firstly, user first. We want to create experiences that really wow your users, so that your users could get access to the information in a very intuitive manner. We also take that a step further and actually help end-to-end resolution of issues using the experience that we are creating with LLMs, with transactional bots. And finally, we want to make sure that that experience is multimodal, is using the full power of your CX. Secondly, we really focused on being developer friendly. generating a high-quality conversational AI experience used to take months and quarters in the past. With the latest technology, we believe you can set up those experiences very, very fast. With innovations like Infobot and transactional bots, which we'll talk more about, you can create these experiences in a matter of days and weeks instead of months and quarters. And finally, we care about being responsibly controlled. There is still a lot of apprehension when it comes to adoption of this technology. The way we are setting these technology up, we want to make sure we are taking your context into account when the customer experience is being designed, so that you can control how much the conversational experience can actually go out of domain versus stay within the domain that you have defined, so that you are in power of your customer experience. As I mentioned, CCAI platform is the way we are serving this technology to you. We have now integrated a variety of out-of-the-box, what we call day one value solutions with CCAI platform. So you could come in today and let's say you want to just summarize the conversation that's going on and upload that in the CRM of your choice. You could do that with our out-of-the-box summarization models. Or you want to figure out what's going on in your contact center, identify the right topics so that you can create the right virtual agent experience. You can do that using Insight's topic modeling product. And then there is a very nice virtual loop that gets created on the actual customer experience side, where you can take all of these topics and actually feed that into the virtual agent and create a great steering bot and an infobot powered by that. I'm now going to hand it over to Andrea to talk more about these experiences and how we are really introducing generative AI in our products.
Thanks, Shantanu. I'm going to talk a little bit about the ways that we're making it super easy for developers to create infobots. The first way is out of the box directly from your content. This is all created automatically by providing as little as your domain name. We're going to take the content from across that domain and use it to provide answers through the chatbot. You can also supplement that with business documents from a variety of sources. Once that bot is created, out of the box, it's going to be able to answer many, many user questions. And when it can't find the answer within your domain content, it has the fallback that it can use the LLM's world knowledge if you choose to allow it. To that point, we offer very granular controls over what types of generated content to allow and whether or not to allow them at all. You can even specify terms that you don't want to show up in answers. So we just talked about how bots can answer many questions right out of the box, but it's also easier than ever to have them actually complete transactions with your backend. And there are 3 new ways to have your bot complete those transactions. I'll talk about them now. The first is through pre-built flows. So we've looked across industries and built out a variety of use cases that you can add to your flow in just a single click. So this is for common things like checking an order status, authenticating a user, or explaining a bill, things like that. Those are available right out of the box. You just click it, add it to your flow, and you're provided with instructions about how to set up your API to handle that. Secondly, we've dramatically improved how you build graphs in the graphical interface. You no longer have to specify every possible route. That's all handled by AI. All you have to do is specify your business logic and the tasks that your bot should be able to complete. Finally, you have another option of how to specify those tasks. So instead of using the business logic graph builder, you can just use natural language instructions. And you can choose which type of flow to use depending on your use case, one may be better than the other. Next, let's talk a little bit about Agent Assist. So we have a few features that help your live agents service customers even better. Before the call, summarization gives them the context of the conversation that went on with the bot beforehand. After the call, summarization helps give them a starting point for their post-call wrap-up. Oftentimes, they don't even need to edit it. It's that accurate. And a new feature that I'm going to talk about now is called Agent Answers. So that's essentially using the InfoBot that we just talked about, but it's specifically tailored for live agents. So all your organization has to do is point to a set of content, and when the live agent is servicing a customer, if they get stuck, all they have to do is ask the bot for help. So here, we see that the live agent asks a question to the bot, they're given an answer, and they can just copy and paste that right over to the customer that they're working with. So again, these bots are powered by the same technology. They start by looking at the domain content. If they can't find it there, you have the option of using world knowledge. And something that's very useful for live agents is deep linking. And for developers, this is super easy to set up in your Agent Assist conversation profile. All you have to do is select the feature and point to a content source. And finally, I want to talk a bit about CCAI Insights. So this is where all of the conversation data from your human agents, from your bots, all comes together for analysis. And you can get deep insights like what are the topics that are coming into your contact center, what are people calling about, what's top of mind, and use that to make educated business decisions. A new feature that we're launching is called Customer Inquiries. And that is grouping the top questions that are coming into your contact center to give you an overview of, what's trending, what types of things do you need to address. And in addition to just surfacing the questions, we are actually generating suggested answers. So these question and answer pairs can be used in a variety of ways. You can use this to understand what are your customer needs, what do people care about, what are they having trouble with. You could also use it to improve your self-serve content. You could use it for coaching opportunities. And then finally, as Shantanu mentioned earlier, this enables a powerful feedback loop because you can actually use the content that's generated by Insights to improve your virtual agent experience for both end users, end user customers, and your live agents. So now I'm going to pass it back over to Shantanu.
Thanks, Andrea. So we've been very fortunate to work with customers across different geographies and across different verticals. We've been partnering very deeply with Bell Canada on making sure that how they adopt some of these day one out-of-the-box capabilities for Bell's end users. So Bell now transcribes all of the calls coming into their contact center and uses that analysis to really make educated business decisions, as Andrea mentioned. And now what we're doing is taking that a step further, and we are really excited about this collaboration. That's all we had for today. Thanks, Andrea, for joining me. Thank you, everyone.
At Royal Caribbean National, the brand is about being the most innovative and the boldest. When you come on the ships, you can feel it. You feel the energy and the passion. Cruise lines, you could argue, has hit the hardest of any industry for COVID. And we looked forward, we knew we were going to be in a place where we're not going to have the resources that we are typically used to using and having. So we had to become more efficient. We needed an agile solution, an agile marketing stack. And one thing we knew is we wanted to leverage Google's data cloud across the suite of products.
Our engagement with Royal Caribbean International began with Google Marketing Platform. And as we consolidated all of the large amounts of data surrounding 13 plus countries across all of paid media, we have progressed our relationship to Google Cloud, where obviously we began using products like BigQuery to centralize and store that data. And by aggregating that data through Google Cloud and Looker, we allowed the organization to look at business in real time, powering a much more efficient decision-making process and end results.
The biggest benefit since we partnered with Google Cloud has been the increase we've seen in our site conversion and our direct-to-consumer business. The internal success of bringing on the Google Cloud was we had an apples-to-apples view as we put our investment in markets across the globe, which we didn't have before. We definitely see working with Google as a cornerstone to us moving forward. Really unlocked a lot of data that we could then use to build models, that we could use to build better segmentation and smarter marketing. What it spoke to was just the fact that we could get to customers on a digital level a lot quicker than we were before. What Google Cloud offers is the tie-in to the media and the tie-in to the customer. It's been the most fun I've ever had working to bring back industry and the world's largest player in that industry globally The investments we made with Google Cloud are now driving the world's largest cruise lines return to service. We didn't just do it in one market. We did it in ports around the globe. And we did it with Google at the center of that.
Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about how Richmont accelerates insights with SAP and Google Cloud Cortex Framework. My name is Allison Hetrick, Director of Solution Engineering with Google Cloud Cortex Framework.
Hello, everyone. My name is Arnaud Nepple, Data Lake Team Leader at Richmont.
We're going to introduce you first to the Cortex Framework, and then I'll transition it over to Arnaud, who will speak about how Richmont is taking advantage of the framework for its business initiatives. Cortex Framework takes advantage of our extensive data ecosystem experience with private data sets, community data sets, as well as public data sets, and combines that together with our scalable technology building blocks, such as Google BigQuery and Vertex AI, to incorporate a set of reference architectures, deployment accelerators, and integration services delivered by Google along with our partners. As a framework, Cortex helps reduce risk, complexity, and cost, and it helps many customers like Richmont and others accelerate their business outcomes. Most importantly, Cortex provides that foundation and launchpad for innovation. Let's take a closer look at the Cortex framework and help you understand some of the essential elements of the framework itself. First and foremost, Cortex has a foundation that starts with templates and content and predefined models available in Google BigQuery. Along with those models, we include analytics dashboard samples and content, as well as AI ML model examples and application layer templates for data sharing and microservices enablement. Cortex provides a foundation to help you get started and, most importantly, accelerate your journey with data analytics so that you can deliver on analytical insights across a variety of different line of business as well as industry-focused scenarios. And Cortex Foundation can help partner solutions more rapidly enable their data into their respective offerings and platforms. Cortex today provides many with the flexibility as well as the ability to reduce the time, effort, and cost to implement. So what's inside the Cortex framework? Cortex Foundation and the predefined models with Google BigQuery will support a variety of data sets, including SAP ERP, Salesforce, as well as public data sets, including Google Trends, weather data, and more, as well as interoperability for data and partner data sets and data sharing through the Analytics Hub. With all of the richness of the data sets available with Cortex Foundation, many customers choose Cortex to embark on their data analytics initiatives. And with that, we'll spend time today talking about one of our customers, Richmont, and how they're accelerating insights with the Cortex framework. So with that, I'll turn it over to Arno to speak further about their experience with Cortex and some of the advantages and benefits they've been able to achieve with the Cortex framework.
Thank you very much, Alison. Let me briefly introduce Richmont. At Richmont, our portfolio includes Maison delivering exceptional products and services around jewelry, specialist watchmakers, fashion and accessories. Our headquarters are based in Geneva, Switzerland, and we employ more than 35,000 people all around the world, especially in Europe, where we centralized our manufacturing. Let's go directly to our use case. Here, our Maison, Cartier, one of our Maison, is challenging us on two aspects. How to improve the data freshness for data coming from SAP in order for them to take operational decisions in BigQuery. And more on the tech side, IT side, how can we improve the way we develop and the way we transform, modelize those SAP data in BigQuery. And this is exactly here where Cortex is a real game changer for us. Here you can see a supply chain use cases. We are talking about modules around procurement, distribution, stocks. And for who you know a bit SAP, the background is quite complex if we are talking about SAP raw tables. We are talking about a lot of tables, a lot of flow to ingest, and even the standard code or the standard left join are quite complex to build. And here, Cortex is a really game changer because it will allow you with this open source concept to download all the, let's say, SAP use cases and SAP business contents that will prevent you to develop from scratch all the flow, all the tables with the standard codes and standard structure and standard left joins. Here is a simplified flow using Cortex from SAP data. Kind of classic, Cortex contains a data foundation layer, kind of integration layer, where you will be able to download all the data structures and by one click or two click to plan and apply and simply load the data from SAP into those already prepared structure table. Then a second layer for enriched data will contain standard code with standard left joins that SAP is using in the source. We are still in BigQuery, so we can have, if we want an extra layer, in order to add, for example, filtered data, we can put our IAM and security layer, and we can also add all our specifics. Very important for whom use SAP. We know that at source, we have a lot of specifics, and those specifics must be reflected into BigQuery. And this is exactly where the open source concept of Cortex is quite useful, because accessing all the code, it's really easy to add your specific cases, specific rules, in order to deliver the data to our Maison Cartier and the other Maison. I confirm that this Cortex project has been a success thanks to the collaborative effort that we did with Google and Cartier on business side. We are starting with workshops in July, talking about the business use case, a very important step. We went through the project setup, data ingestion, very important data model and pipelines, where Google helped us to change the code on Cortex in order to add our business needs and standard left joins, production preparation, tests, and I can confirm that we are going into production with this solution during this month. Outcome. So I confirm here that using Cortex, we have been able to ingest data from SAP into BigQuery, into already prepared pipelines. We did not build any new flow from scratch. We have been able to enrich those data with our specific, thanks to the open source concept. We have been able to add our specific layer to contain our IAM, our security, and also our filters. And today, Cartier is able to retrieve those data live or micro batch in order to take their operational decision in BigQuery on their side. Lesson learned. I can confirm that ingesting data from SAP is challenging. Very important aspect is to take into consideration as soon as possible the separation of the Cortex standard and your specific. Then, from my point of view, really important to be focused on the use cases. It's a wrong situation, wrong path to take, let's say, trying to ingest all the data from SAP into BigQuery. But by really being specific on our use cases, we have been really able to achieve what the business was needed. Here, I hope you enjoy. Over to you, Alison.
Thanks so much, Arnaud. What's really exciting about some of the experiences that Arnaud has shared with how Cortex has benefited Richemont is that it's truly delivered on the ability to reduce risk, complexity, and what we hope will ultimately be costs, not only for Richemont, but for many of our other clients that are taking advantage of our templates, content, and data solutions. Cortex Framework will help you not only accelerate business outcomes, but it will also benefit as that launch pad for innovation. Its flexibility, its extensibility to be enhanced and taken advantage of for a variety of different use cases is really part of the value of what Cortex can bring. So how do you take advantage of Cortex? You can learn more about it on our website at cloud.google.com/solutions/Cortex. You can also engage with our team. We're interested in learning more about your initiative and your projects and your use cases and helping you to get started in that way. And last but not least, you can get started with Cortex today and get hands-on with the Data Foundation content. So feel free to check out the content available on GitHub. I'd like to thank you for your time today. Most importantly, I'd like to thank Arnaud from Richemont for sharing their experiences with the Google Cloud Cortex Framework.
Welcome to this session on how to optimize your data costs. My name is Yasmin Ahmed. I am a managing director here at Google for product activation. And joining me for this discussion today is Sanjeev Mohan. Sanjeev is a former Gartner Research VP for big data and advanced analytics. In fact, FinOps and cost management are focus areas for Sanjeev as he consults across industries and with large enterprises. I'm very pleased to have Sanjeev here to share his thoughts with us today.
Yasmin, thank you so much for having me on this show.
So today we're talking about FinOps, a hot topic given the current climate. Enterprises today are seeking predictability and transparency in a tough economic climate. What we're hearing from customers is data volumes are growing. They're doing more machine learning and AI, more experimentation, which means today's BI and analytics workloads look different, somewhat unpredictable. As the pace of business has increased, so have workloads. They are dynamic, just like business is dynamic. For retailers, there might be a spike in analytics and workloads at Black Friday. For banks, it might be the monthly financial reporting that creates a spike. For telcos, those spikes come with seasonal events. So what we hear from enterprises is they want flexibility, the ability to handle unplanned changes in demand. And frankly, the old school ways of buying data platforms just don't cut it anymore. Over provisioning capacity for 3, 6 months, even 2, 3 years means that you're overpaying for capacity that is not used. So within today's session, what we'd like to explore are the changes happening in the industry, what's driving the need for FinOps, cost control, optimization, and hearing from Sanjeev, better understand what are enterprises looking for, what options do they have for controlling costs. I will also reflect on some of our key announcements from the keynote here at Data and AI Cloud Summit, discussing how Google is responding to the need. Sanjeev, my first question for you. Why has the FinOps trend taken hold? What are you hearing from customers? Are they really struggling with that cost predictability and transparency?
So, Yasmin, thank you for asking that. What I've seen is the two major trends, especially this year in 2023. The first trend is, I would say data is a victim of its own success. We have more use cases, more data sources, more data transformations going on, and data is really being leveraged as a tool for competitive advantage, for instance. So organizations have this huge desire to leverage data and derive intelligence. So that's a usage of data. But on the other hand, what we are seeing this year is that there's also been some economic headwinds. So while organizations are not slowing down in the use of data, they do want to prioritize their spend, and they want to optimize. They want to make sure that the money that is being spent on these workloads are not wasted. And that is one of the big reasons why we are seeing a major push for FinOps this year than any time in the past that we've seen.
It's interesting that you talk about those points, Sanjeev, because at Google here, as we think about a framework around this, we hear the same things. We're hearing about customers talking about optimize. I want to optimize my workloads for the best price performance. We hear about enterprises talking about data. I need data so I can analyze and see where my spend is, and maybe even have the ability to do chargebacks to users, to teams, to projects. And finally, we hear customers talking about optimizing and controlling cost. How do you get that fine-grained control so that you can keep cost under control? So as enterprises move into the cloud, Sanjeev, I'd love to hear your thoughts on how are they seeking flexibility and the ability to optimize workloads? What are they looking for?
It's such an interesting question. Thank you for asking that, because on one hand, my customers tell me that our cloud bill is so many line items that it's very hard to manually try to figure out where the cost overruns are happening without some automation. But at the very same time, to your point about fine granular cost breakdown, they don't see that. What they really want to see is at 3 different levels. They want to see what is the cost per resource. For example, if I'm using PubSub, or I'm doing some sort of migration from on-premises Hadoop into Dataproc in Google Cloud, what is the cost at Dataproc level? Second thing they want to see is they want to see the cost at a user level. Which user is running some queries that are very expensive, and maybe even aggregated to department level. And they need that because if they want to do chargebacks, for instance, then they need it at that level. The third level that they are looking for is at the workload level. Am I spending too much money maybe training my machine learning models, or am I spending more money in doing extract, transform, load, or running a BI report? So these are the levers that organizations want, and with these levers, then they are able to start the journey of FinOps, and that journey includes discovering, tagging, understanding where that cost is coming from. That's the very first step, because if you cannot identify where your cost is being consumed, then how are you going to optimize it? So that's the first step. The second thing then they do is they take that understanding and then they use it for budgeting, forecasting, and a chargeback model. And they also are looking for recommendations on how to reduce some of these expenses.
As you talk about the things that customers are looking for, Sanjeev, I come back to this concept we've spoken in the past about intelligent decisions. They want the visibility, the ability to make intelligent decisions, and they're looking to make those at a workload level. They want to get detailed. And so when I reflect on some of the launches we've just announced here at Data and AI Cloud Summit, we're launching BigQuery Editions to meet that need, the need for customers to have optionality and really get to a workload level and make decisions about what features do they actually need. If you're running a POC, maybe you've got some basic ETL workloads, a standard edition is great, and it's the best price performance for that workload. Whereas if I have a workload that is mission critical, I need disaster recovery, extra compliance, then I want to go to Enterprise Plus. But critically, my workloads have different needs. And when we look across the industry, typically vendors make you choose a tier and all your workloads have to go into that tier. Well, when we built Editions at Google, we saw that need for mix and match. So we delivered mix and match editions. You can have different workloads in different tiers and really get the best price performance. And in addition, what we also heard from customers, as you were reflecting on, Sanjeev, today's workloads, there are unpredictable workloads. So there's some workloads moving from on-prem to cloud, very predictable. They want to lock in a great price for an annual or multi-year commitment. But there's other workloads that they don't know if it will be there tomorrow, next week, next month. And so this is why also with these tiers, we introduced auto-scaling, the ability to only pay for what you use. When a query is running and you're consuming compute, you're charged for it. But when it's not running, that compute goes away. So it's really delivering best price performance for those different types of workloads that a customer has. So with all that flexibility, Sanjeev, you spoke a lot about reporting as well, having visibility. And we're seeing customers look for that visibility, the ability to analyze how the cost is spread across different teams, different departments. And we see lots of customers looking to that. So Sanjeev, as you think about CFOs, and the CFOs are scanning those hundreds of lines in those billing reports, why are they looking at costs so closely? What are they concerned about? What's creating challenge?
So, great question, Yasmin. One of the biggest challenges is that these CFOs have allocated a certain amount of budget for their cloud computing costs. And now they're finding out that whatever they had allocated for the whole year is consumed within 3 months. And that is causing a lot of problems, because now they have to go ask for more money, and then they come back to the data team and say, okay, show me why is this cost now going through the roof? And there is no clarity as to why this cost is going through the roof. So that is one of the reasons why the CFOs are so concerned with controlling cloud costs. The second thing that I want to bring up is if we go back and see what happened when we started doing cloud migrations. In some way, there was a stampede. We wanted to move from an on-prem, take whatever workloads we were running, and then move it into the cloud. But if you don't have an understanding as to where the cost is being incurred, then you're going to lift and shift into the cloud, not take advantages of the cloud's auto scaling, for instance, like you mentioned, and you are going to pay more than what you have paid in the past. So what the CFOs are saying is, let's understand where the cost is being incurred on premises. So like you said, we can intelligently move to the cloud and right-size our resources. Make sure that we are using the utilization of the resources is optimal, and we are not paying for wasted resources.
Yeah, and I think we're hearing exactly the same thing, Sanjeev, in runaway costs. You spoke about runaway costs. It's a huge challenge. What seemed like a reasonable cost when you got started, maybe even cheap, quickly escalates out of control. And we're hearing that as a recurring theme as customers move to the cloud. And in some ways, auto-scaling, an amazing feature, can contribute to that, because now dynamically, as a query is running, what Google is doing is we're adding compute to those queries, giving you the ability to really pay for what you're using. But in an environment that is constrained, a CFO needs to manage their budget. And so recognizing that, we wanted to deliver this amazing auto-scaling feature to the market that was really fine-grained control. You're really paying only for that compute you use. But we wanted to give levers that allow those CFOs, those IT teams to control cost. So with auto-scaling, you can set those max thresholds, baseline thresholds that mean your cost is managed. BigQuery actually manages that cost and optimizes the workloads to a cost profile. And that's hugely powerful. You don't need tons of IT teams looking at workloads, trying to manage them human-centric. You have BigQuery doing that. So unfortunately, I think that's all we have time for today. I'd love to just reflect on FinOps, hugely important area. We spoke about today why it's so important for customers, why you should care. And we spoke about the optimize, how enterprises are looking to that flexibility to optimize to price performance, and whether that's mix and match with additions tiers, using annual commitments, multi-year commitments combined with auto scale, really customers looking for that ability to get the best price performance per workload. We also spoke about, and Sanjeev mentioned, visibility, transparency, being able to see where that cost is, which department, perhaps even doing chargebacks to individual users, to departments and teams. And finally, we spoke about operate, the importance of having those levers. So with all of that flexibility and agility, you can still control cost. I'd love to point our audience also to the many resources that we have available to you here to get up to speed with what we're offering in BigQuery Editions today. And we'll also have more details on Editions in our upcoming webcast on the 5th of April. So I'd encourage you to register for that. Thank you, Sanjeev, for joining me.
You're very welcome, Yasmin. If I may add one last word, we have talked quite a bit on this segment about CFOs and their challenges. FinOps is everybody's problem on the data team, whether you're an architect or a developer. So I'm really glad to see some of these features that you've announced today, because they're going to help the entire data team get more disciplined.
That's some great final words, Sanjeev. Thank you. And thank you all for also watching and joining us here at Data and AI Cloud Summit 2023. We hope you enjoy the rest of the sessions.
Welcome to everyone joining our applied demo for all things Data Cloud. We hope you've enjoyed everything so far at the Data Cloud and AI Summit. I'm Gabe Weiss, and today, in this rendition of Demo Tech Talk, we want to show you all how we've built an e-commerce platform and analytics suite to improve the end user experience and provide better insights to our customer behavior using data and AI. I'm joined by Jason Davenport, one of our advocate friends, and together we're going to walk through the demo and all of its components.
We keep hearing from our customers about how they've built great applications, but they want to know how to better leverage their data from their applications and take better action on that. We're going to dive into this today using our e-commerce demo platform, Online Boutique. This is an online application built with microservices and other modern software technologies, where users can come, browse items, build a cart, and ultimately place an order for shipment to their address. But what if we could better understand what our customers were doing on this platform or trying to do on their platform? How might we be able to do this with data and AI? How might we surface the right products to customers at the right time and ultimately improve their shopping experience? How might we also add things into the system to suppress bad actors and use something like a fraud detection system? We'll showcase how we answer these questions and harness the capabilities of the open, intelligent, and unified data cloud today.
To start us off, let's walk through that architecture we created for these use cases using data and AI. For those following along at home, everything you need to set this up is available on github.com, and all you need is a Google Cloud project to get this deployed so you can play with it yourself. And as we walk through the various pieces, we're going to show some screens of things in action. We're going to focus on three themes in our architecture. We start with the improvement and unification of our transactional and analytical data workflows. Then we're going to cover advanced analytics, which builds our business value cases. And last, how we do this with seamless governance so that users get the right data at the right time.
Ultimately, we want to help you as the developer love what you're doing working with Google Cloud and make it even easier and more developer-friendly to build highly available and highly intelligent applications. So the first thing that we need to do is to persist our transactions in our database and then get this into our analytic platform. Gabe, how might we go about accomplishing this first part?
I wanted to say smoke signals, but you said persist. You know I'm here, so I'm going to say databases is where we're going to start. Picking which database is always a little bit tricky and depends heavily on the workload for your application and what other features or requirements you have. We have a number of databases available that could totally work in an application like this one. So let me talk for a bit about why for today, I picked AlloyDB for Postgres as the backend for our app. AlloyDB is a fully Postgres-compatible database with the benefit of complete disaggregation of storage and compute. Disaggregation means you can scale up the storage and compute independently, which means better control and lower costs. And I say Postgres compatible because unlike, say, Cloud SQL, which is a managed Postgres database, AlloyDB has been enhanced in a lot of cool ways. We often talk about our products from the concepts of being like open, unified, and intelligent. The Postgres compatibility highlights the idea of an open interface and embraces the idea of meeting you, our practitioners, where you are. We've taken the out-of-the-box Postgres and focused on integrating intelligent AI features directly. Just a couple of really cool examples. We've added something called the Index Advisor, which helps you be more productive by analyzing queries executed against your database and returning some recommendations for how to better tune the database, like how to add indices going forward. We've also added vacuum management. If you've worked with Postgres, you probably know that garbage collection on rows marked for delete can impact your database performance. Normally, this is part of your manual tuning process, figuring out when the best time is to do that. With AlloyDB, based on your workload patterns, it figures out the best time to do it for you, when to do the garbage cleanup with minimal disruption based on that workload pattern that you've got. And third, AlloyDB has a built-in SQL function that allows it to directly call a Vertex AI endpoint. This is super cool because it means you can tie the results of that AI question you have directly with the transactional data in line. So for example, being able to detect fraudulent charges as the transaction is happening in the database, rather than having to call out to some extra microservice to do the checking. Did I also mention that it's fast? So AlloyDB is faster than out-of-the-box Postgres. In our performance tests we've run, AlloyDB is more than 4 times faster than standard Postgres for transactional workloads, and up to 100 times faster for analytical queries. For Online Boutique, the analytical query speed boost lines up nicely since we want to be able to serve up insights and recommendations back to our users directly in the app in real time. We also really wanted to highlight some of the integrated AI functionality, showing that we didn't have to build a lot of extra infrastructure to take advantage of our AI platform. Cloud Spanner totally could have fit the bill here, and we could easily have used it for the same application. If your application has a hard requirement for things like globally consistent rights, or you really need the highest availability service level agreement, 5 nines for Spanner, that would be for sure the way to go. We also know that our data needs to be delivered to our analytics platform, so we're using CDC, or Change Data Capture, to source our data in real time to our lakehouse in BigQuery. DataStream is our fully managed ClickOps CDC product that handles moving that data from AlloyDB over to BigQuery.
All right, so here's where our analytics platform, or our analytics lakehouse, begins. For all of our data engineers, scientists, and analysts working behind the screen, we're going to be leveraging all of our BigQuery capabilities to build our analytic lakehouse platform, including its new capability to scale to 0, so we don't pay for capacity when we don't need it. We can also scale it when we need to using the autoscaler. We'll also need to run some SQL transformations on this data to make it more usable. For reporting and for feature engineering, we can use Dataform to help build these just using straight SQL. Dataform will automatically understand dependencies in our SQL and then build out data models accordingly, as well as provide us easy ways to start checking our data for errors or quality using assertions. We'll also join our structured and unstructured data together using Big Lake object tables, which now allows you to unify and run queries in ML over both object data and structured data. Here, since we've been able to marry those two object types along with streaming data, we can bring all these together and really unlock the capability of BigQuery. Last, BigQuery helps us keep our data open. Using BigQuery storage, any processing engine like Spark can interact directly with the data we've stored and generated, and there's no compute lock-in to access our data. This gives our developers options to run things like serverless Spark jobs on our data, but still have the results shared using BigQuery, so our analysts have a great unified experience. Let's talk some more about how we've unified and improved the optimization experience once your platform's running. With the new Query Inspector, you can see a visual graph of your query, understand what may be going slow, and then we'll actually return recommendations for how to tune your tables or queries where we can for cost and performance. So now we've built our system, let's talk about how we can improve it, track history, and unify or simplify access management. To simplify access management, all of our data flows through to Dataplex. And with Dataplex, we can do things like understand our table level lineage, which can be shown for all users and all tables automatically. This lets our users see the data, where it originated, what the end results were, and all of these things are done so that way we can actually track and understand our data quality and build trust in our data that we've created. Last, because all of this flows through, we can use a unified access model and data catalog so our end users can actually query data from any location, and we know that it will be secured in the right way so the right user views data at the right point in time. All this is made available because Data Catalog registers every object that's created, whether BigQuery or whether an external table. And since all these are generated through this, we can now use things like infrastructure as code to manage these in a way that makes sense. So now that we've built the platform, let's talk about how users can actually get access to all that great data.
Google's Data Cloud will happily serve the data to anyone with access. But depending on the user, we might want to manifest our data or use cases very differently. For example, we might not want analysts directly accessing SQL tables. Not because they're analysts, analysts are great, but maybe we need to satisfy governance or some compliance requirement. We now have the ability to create a Looker semantic model. A semantic model is like a business logic layer sitting on top of your raw data in the Google Cloud Console that we can use to serve governed data to both our internal analysts and to our site as needed with an extensible API. Embedding Looker in our application using the Looker's APIs allows us to use a common model and share data securely for each of our user groups. Users can view their own analytics about purchase history and items, and we don't have to build two separate data models for internal and external use. We've covered a lot of groundwork here and how we created the backend and pipeline parts of our platform. But we haven't yet talked about one of the cool new things we brought in, which is the AI. We've briefly touched on how we're using BigQuery ML, but let's expand on that. One of our key use cases, fraud detection, is a great use case for BQML. We can get the training data set directly from our operational data. All the transactions being stored in the database become that training data. And from that, we can build a fraud classifier directly in BigQuery using SQL, and then deploy that to a Vertex AI endpoint. Then without any extra infrastructure, in AlloyDB, we can call that endpoint. So our feedback loop becomes transactions coming into AlloyDB from our front end. DataStream pulls the relevant transactions into BigQuery, where BQML trains our fraud model. And then in real time, AlloyDB can call the Vertex AI endpoint to detect if we have any potential fraud and prevent the transaction from proceeding.
All right. So we've also implemented 2 components to improve our e-commerce experience for our end users. Using retail search and discovery, our customers can go through and use Google-created but customer-tuned models to give our customers better recommendations for things like buy next or also goes with, or just create a better natural language search for finding what they need on our platform. We could look to further extend this as more generative AI capabilities become available. Here, because we're unifying all these AI pieces, we've unified search and recommendation models. We can also get some additional characteristics for how we may promote or emphasize things to our customers. We can log each of these interactions and choose to have this data available back in BigQuery to make an even better feedback loop for optimizations and activation for our customers. And with all this data being usable in BigQuery, we can share it across our Data Cloud partners to create even more specialized insights and actions.
So let's go back to the application now that we've made all these connections and do a quick tour of the end user experience. First, we can use the new services to improve what we're looking into purchase. Then we can improve our ability to catch bad transactions with a seamless API call that our customers don't even need to see unless we detect a potential issue. Finally, our internal teams now get better analytics for things like campaign launches or new product introductions without seeing any data that they shouldn't. And one of the best parts is because AlloyDB has built-in read pools that allow you to scale it to handle these extra insights, you don't have to sacrifice the app performance or even spend a ton of your own time setting up replicas and load balancers.
So let's summarize here. For our 3 use cases to improve our application, we implemented an open transactional database. We built a unified analytics lakehouse and embedded multiple intelligent AI and ML capabilities into our application. We can't wait to see how our customers start using this application and how we, as developers, can continue extending it. Thanks to everyone for following along today, and for all of our users tuning in for how we are continuing to build the most open, unified, and intelligent data cloud with AI capabilities. For those who want to play with the demo that we talked about today, you'll find it on github.com. We'd love to hear your feedback for using this and how we can continue extending our demo, as well as making our platform even more loved for our developers. Please don't hesitate to let us know. With that, signing off for the Data Cloud and AI Summit, this is Jason and Gabe. Take care.
you.